Hello and good morning. It may not be morning when I upload this, but it's morning when I'm filming it, and this is the first time I've put on earrings in a week because you can't wear earrings and headphones at the same time, or at least it's painful to. Today I want to recommend some books that I haven't seen a lot of people talking about. You could call them underhyped, and well, they are. I think they deserve a lot more hype than they're already getting. Now, I may have only personally seen one or two people talking about some of these and no one talking about a few of them, but that doesn't mean people aren't talking about them. I just haven't seen it. All right, so let's dig in. The first book is one that I have seen at least one person talking about, and that is Unkindness of Magicians by Kat Howard. I've seen Murphy Napier talk about this one and rave about it, which is why I picked it up when I saw it on like a $3 special one day. This is an urban fantasy that takes place in a modern city and tracks a magical competition that happens when all the magical houses in this world like have to reshuffle and have a competition between magicians to see who's gonna like dominate and be like the leading house for the next 20 years. And a new champion walks into the scene and she's working for one of the houses and no one knows who she is or why she's as good as she is. I really enjoyed this book a lot. I'm so glad I picked it up on Murphy's recommendation, and I think a lot more people should be picking it up. I liked the fact that it was urban fantasy. I liked the fact that it took place in our modern world. I liked the world building. I liked the main character. I liked the price for magic. And I really appreciated the ending and how everything concludes. The only thing I would like better about this book is if there was a better description of the magic used. Magic just kind of happens. The way it's described is really fascinating, but you don't really know how they're doing magic. You know, it just says like, oh, she twisted the magic on her hand and then this thing happens. And it's like, well, but how did she do it? Did she say a spell? Did she, I don't know. You just don't know how. There are a few darker themes, especially the theme of where magic comes from is pretty dark. I have a pretty low bar for how much I can handle, and this was right at the edge of it. Like right up there where I almost couldn't. It's not super dark. It's just not, you know, bright and cheery. But it's really, really good. I highly recommend this one. I liked it a lot. All right, we're gonna go next with one of my favorite books, maybe of all time, and that is The Never Hero by T. Ellery Hodges. This is a book that my dad told me about because we share an Audible account and he recommended that I listen to it, and I listened to the whole thing in like 3 days because it was so good. It's like a 17-hour audiobook, and I hadn't yet learned that you could speed audiobooks up, but I was working full-time and listened to it in like 3 or 4 days. This is an urban science fiction that follows a young man, Jonathan Tibbs, who gets implanted with an alien device that activates every time a different alien comes to his city. The alien device awakens all of these superpowers, and he has to then take on that alien that's come to destroy his city. After he defeats the alien, the timeline resets to the moment when it activated, and no one remembers anything that happened except for him. This is just so good. I think everyone should be talking about this. I usually am not like an urban science fiction type of person. I prefer traditional space odysseys, but I loved this book. I loved it so much. I got my husband on it. He read both of them and loved them. This is also the debut novel for the author, and I think he did a fantastic job. The number of twists and turns that are in this series and the way everything unfolds and the thought he's put into it, it's just so good. I want everyone to read this book. It's excellent. It's just that good. The third book that I want to recommend, I've heard one other booktuber talk about. I've heard Meg with Books talk about it, and that is The Strange Case of the Alchemist's Daughter by Theodora Goss. This story follows the daughter of Dr. Jekyll, Mary Jekyll, as well as the daughters of several other fictional characters, such as the daughter of Mr. Hyde. Mary Jekyll and her friends also get help from Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Watson. And it ultimately is the story of women coming together with different backgrounds and solving a mystery. I really liked this one. This is the infamous book that got me reading at my Kindle while trying to put my makeup on because I loved it that much. I think I finished it less than 24 hours after I started it, and that was during the work week. Like, not during a readathon or anything. And it's not a long book, but it's not exactly short. I loved this book so much. It is the first one in a series, and I haven't read the second one, and I don't know how many are out. But that's not for lack of loving it, it's just for presence of so many series in my life. But it's in like the top 3 series that I want to pick up as soon as I conclude some of the ones that are just perpetually open and I can't ever, it's fine, series. You know, I need more standalones. I really need more standalones in my life. I think the Unkindness of Magicians is the only standalone in this list. We're gonna go with one more for my Kindle, and I'm gonna input a picture of the cover because this is the most unimpressive cover page on a Kindle book that I've ever seen. But the cover is beautiful. This is Murder with Peacocks by Donna Andrews, and it is just a fantastic cozy mystery. My mom actually recommended this one to me. I think maybe she got it from her sister. I don't know, everyone, or my grandmother, because everyone in my family reads books. It's like what we do. It's just what we do. No, we do plenty of other stuff too, but yeah, everyone in my family reads. This story follows Meg, our main protagonist, across the summer when her brother, her mother, and one of her friends are all getting married. So there's 3 weddings happening, and she's responsible for a lot in all of them. And then people start dying. It's just a really, really good cozy mystery. One of the things I loved the most about this book is her family. It's so wild and hilarious. Her mom reminds me so much of my great-grandmother, and actually her dad reminds me of my great-grandfather too. They're just so fun. Like, the humor is fantastic. I've continued on with the series. The second book is okay, but the third book gets really, really good again. I just really love this. I have read it 3 times. Like, to know who the killer is, and for it to be a cozy mystery, and to go back and read it 3 times, like, you know it's a good book if I'm doing that, you know? Just because I love being in her mind. I love the way she reacts to her family. Highly recommend this one for cozy mystery, for a lot of laughs, just for like a really good romp. The last book that I want to recommend is the one I'm the most nervous to recommend, because it was first published in 2002, like right as YA was becoming like a big deal. I read it growing up. I have the attachment to it that a lot of people tend to have with Harry Potter because I grew up with these characters. However, because I grew up with it, I am blind to any of the tropes or classic YA things that may be happening in it. So I don't really know how people will take to it now in 2020. But I think it's so good. And that is the Pendragon series by DJ McHale. This is book 1, The Merchant of Death, and it starts when Bobby is 14 years old and his Uncle Press comes and gets him and whisks him off to an alien planet that he has to help save. It is fantasy, it is sci-fi, it is adventure, it's just everything that I wanted as a 14-year-old, because I was 14. No, I was 13 when I got this. Bobby was slightly older than me. I got the new book every year for Christmas up until the last one, and I grew up with Bobby and Mark and Courtney. As Bobby is on these adventures, he writes journals and he sends them to Mark and Courtney, his 2 best friends from back home. Bobby is on the basketball team and he's very popular. I think he's very popular. We'll go with he's very popular. And his best friend since kindergarten, Mark, is our classic nerd character. Courtney, the 3rd main character, is really popular as well. And I have a special attachment to Courtney because, okay, I don't want to spoil too much, but I do have an attachment to Courtney unlike any other character in literature. And that is because Courtney is ahead of everyone else. She's faster, stronger, she grew first type of thing, and then everyone else catches up with her. And it really throws her for a loop when she realizes she's not the best at everything. I click with that so much. I remember being in middle school and high school and being ahead of everyone else, and then suddenly everyone caught up with me. What she goes through, I haven't really seen in a lot of other books. I haven't seen it the same way. And I think when I have, the way the characters choose to solve it is not how I solved it, you know? But the way Courtney solves it just reminds me so much of how I got through that season of life and how I really found a lot of internal confidence and internal self-worth again. So I just really appreciate Courtney a lot. And I think more people should read this series. I got my husband into it also, along with The Never Hero, and he really enjoyed it. He read all 10 books, which is impressive because he reads maybe 10 books a year. He's in school still. I really love this book. I have an attachment to it, and I adore it. So there you have it. Those are 5 books that I think way more people should be reading and talking about, that I personally really love across a variety of genres. There's no true fantasy and no true science fiction in this list because I personally haven't come across science fiction and fantasy that not a lot of people talk about yet. But there is an urban fantasy, an urban sci-fi, oh my gosh, I didn't say what genre the Strange Case the Alchemist's Daughter was. You could tell from context it's like historical fantasy. Anyway, so there's that, and then, you know, classic YA adventure, cozy mystery. Let me know if you've read any of these, or what books you think are underhyped that other people should be talking about a lot more and reading. And until then, I hope you're having a really great day and taking really good care of yourself and the people around you. And that is The Never Hero by T.L.R.E. Hallworth. Madam, the world is fine. Go back to sleep. This is also the debut. The good news about my mom watching my channel is I will always have fantastic posture in these videos. You're welcome. This story follows Meg, our main protagonist, our only protagonist. That's all of them on my Kindle.